Welcome in, everybody, to our first GFcrew LITE webinar. So I'm Bethany. I'm the one that's been replying back and forth on the Facebook group, and I am the support and success coordinator at Glossy Finish, which also owns GFcrew. And that's why we're here today.
How's everyone doing? I'm Kyle Perry. I know some of you I've already met and you guys have actually worked with us at Glossy, but I am the operations manager here. I also help with GFcrew LITE members as well as the pro members. I know I've answered a few of your guys' questions on Facebook and Facebook Messenger. And like Bethany, I'm here to help you guys succeed and get this going in the right direction.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Bethany. So my name is Matt Weiner. If you don't know who I am, I'm one of the partners and founders of GFcrew. Chaim Aryav and I are business partners and have continued building Glossy Finish and GFcrew over the last number of years. I'm also the CTO, and definitely will help everywhere I can on the technology side. And Bethany and Kyle support all of our efforts. So I want to thank them for starting this off tonight and everything. So a couple things that I wanted to just go over real quick. What are we here to talk about tonight? What is GFcrew? We'll make sure everybody knows what that is before we get too much further down the road here. And then how to get help. What's in the how to get to the knowledge base, how to find answers to your questions yourself. And Facebook group and everything like that, which is probably where most of you saw this notification. Bethany's going to go through and demo some key features of the app, and go through and demo that, talk about how things get done, again, how to get to the knowledge base, how to create your events, how to start getting paid and making money. We'll talk about why we migrated from Capture Life. What was the reason for that? Why did we make this effort, and what caused us to do that? And I appreciate everybody being there, being along for the ride with us, and being patient while we did that conversion. And then what's our plan moving forward? Where do we go from here? How do we keep making GFcrew LITE better for you guys? And then at the end, we'll have time for Q&A. So if you guys want, there's a Q&A section up at the top right there, I believe, or bottom right. You can submit questions into the Q&A. And so I'll just kind of kick this off real quick. What is GFcrew? Why are we here? Why did we build this? And what are we offering to you guys? So really, GFcrew is a community and a platform that helps photographers like you get paid for doing what you love to do, right? I mean, everybody here loves doing photography, loves going out, getting those action shots, of youth sports, or maybe your local softball league or whatever. We know that some of you are out there doing these pictures because maybe you've got a contract with a school or an organization that says you have to go out and do those photos. And you're wondering, like, why am I out here? Am I making money with action photos? GFcrew can help you with that. Or some of you just love photography, and maybe you're out there making money with it, or maybe you're trying to figure out how to make money with it. And again, we can help you with that. There's a lot of people in the Facebook group. There's a lot of information in the knowledge base that can help teach you and make sure that you're making money with what you love to do, and justify buying that new 300 or 400 millimeter lens that you've been trying to get. GFcrew LITE has been around, and we've helped hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of photographers really make money on the platform. And there's some part-time people in here that are making a pretty decent living. Chaim every month or every couple of weeks posts what who the top earners are, and those are numbers right out of the database. We're not fudging that. That's exactly how much money people are making. I'm not going to name any names here, but there's some, some really successful people, and we're really happy and excited to have them, as part of the team. So, GFcrew LITE is really there to help you get paid upfront for your photography, and an easy way to deliver those photos to your families, to your customers. So with that, I'm going to send it back off to Bethany, and let her go through the walkthrough of some of the features and some of the things on how to access stuff. So Bethany, go ahead and take over.
All right, thanks, Matt. So I'm going to go ahead and show you my screen. All right. Okay, so first I'm going to start off with the basics, just so we know like our URL, where to change our settings. A lot of, at least the people who migrated over, you can still change some of your settings because they might be like older ones that you already had in there compared to the people who just signed up, who just put in their name, their email, their phone number. So I'm going to show you guys how to change that. In the little profile icon in the top right, you can go to settings, and then there's all your stuff. If you want to change your logo, you can go ahead and delete this one, add another one, change your email, your phone number. You can even change your domain and your time zone if you'd like. We're going to keep mine for now. We are also allowing you to embed your form onto your website. So if you guys have an actual website, not just using the platform, you can click embeddable form and just copy and paste this code right into your website. And I'm actually going to show you an example of one of our LITE tenants who runs Field of Dreams Photography. Shout out if you're here. And this is the embeddable form. It's just like your customers see if they go straight to your URL, but this is on the Field of Dreams website. Select the event, go through everything, and it works perfectly with GFcrew LITE. All right, so most of you probably already know this now, but your URL that you log in with is your domain. Right now I'm using a staging environment, so it does also say .stage, but ignore that. This is going to be your url.gfcrew.com/admin. If you want your customers to have your URL, you're just going to remove the /admin. So let's throw it in the URL, and it takes me to my customers page where they can go and download their photos, or they can go to your active events and register. We're going to look at that in a little bit. Okay, and then a very big part of all of this and answering your questions and all the information that you need is in this little blue button in the bottom right. This is the knowledge base. If you click it, it authenticates you. It logs you right into what we use. It's Zendesk. That's what we use for our knowledge base. Just click on it. It'll take you right to your account. You don't have to log in or anything. And if you scroll down a little bit, click the app, and you see all of the lovely articles that I've written about how to, what the different statuses mean on the Players tab, what your customer sees when they download photos. Everything's in there, I promise. If it's not, you know where to find us on Facebook and email. Okay, so you guys, a lot of you guys have probably already created an event, some of you I know have worked an event and successfully uploaded pictures, which is awesome, but I'm gonna go through creating an event. So go to create, give it your name. You guys are already familiar with this. The event code, for those of you who don't know, sorry. Your main events tab is organized by code. So at Glossy Finish, we go sequentially. So the main event that I already have there is 1. So we're just gonna do 2. So we do it by date, by code, if that makes sense. Like the later date is a later code. We select the category in case you need to organize the list by events. I'm going to make it active so that my customers can register. And I'm going to set a max registration of 5. It's going to be this Saturday at 1 p.m. The end date, if some of you work like 2-day weekend soccer tournaments or something, it'll let your customer know that it's multi-day, but we're just going to say this is a 1 game, so the end date is the same date as the start date. If you want to copy packages from main events, check out the video I just posted in the Facebook group, just so we can save some time on this call. That is a pretty cool feature, so you don't have to change your packages for every event. But for this one, I am going to show you about our packages. So you can offer a default package, which is typically one individual single game, or a season pass, which is usually one individual multi-games, and then a team package, which is usually the whole team, one single game. Of course, you can adjust this based on your business. So for this one, I'm just gonna offer the regular individual package and team package. You can go into edit the package, change the name, description, and all that good stuff. Ignore the caps and change the price. Drop in an image. We're just going to do the webinar. And again, it is active. Let me just change this. Okay. So like I said, you guys can adjust this however you want. Say you want to do a whole team package for the season, you can do that. Just change your price accordingly. I know some of you guys only offer season packages, which is pretty cool. All right, so there we go. I've also had a couple questions about the packages and the upload time limit. I think there's been a little bit of confusion on here, but it's to ensure that the right packages that a customer is purchasing allow the right amount of time that you can actually upload photos to that customer. So an individual package and a team package will only allow you to upload 10 days after the first upload. So that doesn't mean 10 days after the date of the event, but say we have this event on Saturday. I don't upload anything until January 20th. The 10-day window for me to upload any more photos for that package is January 30th. So just 10 days from when I uploaded, not the event date, which is the 17th. Whereas the season pass, you get 60 days. So again, say you've got all of football season, it started in August and it runs through December. You have 60 days to upload. So I would do your first upload in beginning of November, and then your last upload will be end of December, or whatever sport you need to do with the seasons. Okay. So now, one big feature was just added today, which a lot of you guys have been requesting, is deleting an event, a main event. I know a lot of you guys have messaged me about that, and I said it's something we're working on. It's finally here. You just have to make sure that there aren't any customers linked to that event. So for right now, this is only for events, say you didn't get any registrations at, or it was canceled. Go to edit the main event and click delete. If there are customers in here, you will have to transfer them to another event before you can delete the event. But for this one, there's no registration, and we are going to go ahead and delete this. And there you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and register as a customer. So I'm going to go back to my customer URL, register for action photos. They're going to register for the basketball game. Let's say they're doing the team package. So also, if you noticed, this step 3 has now changed to team information, because it's not just going to be player first name, player last name, like it would be if we selected individual game. See how it changes back to athlete? For now, we'll look at team. So I'm the parent that's registering. Okay. And my team information, let's say there, varsity HHS. So the notes field is whatever your parent decides. Say it is one player and they're a lefty, or they're a point guard, or stuff like that. Just to let you know how to photograph them better. Or just going to use a filler card. So this is exactly what your customer is going to see. And then they'll click. They can also use Cash App, which is like the login to the Cash App. But yeah, enter their card in. Yeah.
Real quick on the Cash App side, if they're logging in from if they're registering from a desktop computer, it'll present them with a QR code that they can scan from their phone. If they're logging in, or sorry, if they're registering from their phone, it'll app switch on their phone to Cash App.
All right. And so this is just going to agree to receive text from your business and the terms and conditions, which they can click on right here and read through, which I know some of you guys have already read through that. And it just verifies what event and the date that they are signing up for, as well as the total. Okay, we're going to go ahead and submit the registration. They can either do another one that saves their information so they don't have to fill out everything again, or go back to main menu. Okay, we're gonna refresh. So you will receive text messages when one of your customers signs up. So I just got GFcrew notification. Bethany is registered for so-and-so event. And you also are going to get a little notification in the top right. Same thing. And we can see now that there's a registration in there. All right. So say you need to comp a session for someone, or just give them a free game because something went wrong with the last one. You just need to pay the event fee. You are going to enter your main event and click on the registration page. So let's go in here. We're just gonna pick up a number. Guess we can use it. You're going to select their package. Just enter in everything they would enter in. So you can, I know it says empty options, but you can just enter in whatever age group or characteristic that you want and click create. Same with teen. We're going to put HHS. Okay. So now once you click create with order, this is what makes it different. So pay as admin. This is just the $6 fee if you just need to get someone registered in there. You're giving them a free session, or say they gave you cash, but to get the event fee in there, you're going to enter your card number into this. It will save. So as an admin, it will save. So next event, if someone pays cash, you can do this and it'll have your card number in here and you just click pay. This is just a new account, so I don't have a card number saved in here. But the other option, when we click create with order, is pay as customer. So if their service isn't working, they're in the gymnasium, they can't log in, but they want you to photograph them, you can go to pay as a customer, enter in their card information, and they can pay the whole total, just right there. You enter it all in, get their payment info, pay, they're registered. The other cool feature is that you can make an adjustment. So like I said, if you need to comp someone, so say they didn't get enough photos the last time, or say they're a really awesome customer and you want to give them $40 off, just enter the adjustment in here, but you got to use negative, obviously, so minus 40. And now you can see the total is 45. So we're just going to add this customer in here.
You guys will not be able to use this credit card. It's a fake one. So just throwing that out there.
Thanks, Kyle.
Write it down. Write it down.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. So it also pulls up the order invoice, which we already know all this information. So we're going to go ahead and close that out. But now we can see on the customers tab, both of our registrations, and we can see both of our players in there. So also something that wasn't initially up yet when we migrated over was transferring a customer between events. So in case you wanted to delete an event or move a customer to a makeup event, you're going to click transfer customer on the event page. On the customers tab. Right now, I don't have another event to give it to, but this is where you would do it. And it makes sure that you have the right package in the new event. But that's where you go. If you need to move a customer to another event, it's the little arrows that say transfer customer. All right. So the most important thing, other than actually taking the pictures, how to give it to the customer. So a GFcrew LITE, our photo uploader, is something you have to download to your computer. We've got a Mac version, a Windows version, and an ARM version if you use that. So we have to download it first. And the best way to find it is in our trusty knowledge base in the bottom right, because it wasn't the initial link when you logged in, but those have probably been lost somewhere deep in your history. So I'm going to go to the Gift Pro application, download and install. And I'm going to download it right onto my computer so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. Well, I don't want you to see that. Okay. So it should just take a minute to download. It's super easy to use. We don't have a web uploader yet. Maybe that's something in the future that we're going to do. But this is great. It'll queue stuff up even if you're offline. So it is our trusty gift uploader. So how to get to it? Either you can go to your apps and actually click on the Gift Pro application and it'll show you this. Or we're going to close it. Click your profile in the top right and click Go to Gift and it will automatically log you in. Oh, it showed up over here, but there you go. All right, so it recognizes who you are. It's logged you in with your credentials. And we're going, so it says test mode enabled. Again, I am on a staging environment just for today's purpose. So you just select your event. If you need to edit your event or activate an event so that it shows up in the gift, just go ahead and edit it and go back to the gift and then click this little refresh button. So we're going to go inside that event. Let's upload the team package. So as you can see, it doesn't have any photos. And then you can double check the status of that person over here, or sorry, the information of that person, or for this example, team over here. So you can either drag and drop files over here or click browse. We're just going to use one of my test folders. Actually, we're going to use one of my test folders that I always use. So it's just some baseball pictures. I know this is basketball, but it's okay. Drop that in there. It's 58 photos. Click process. It says it's processing, or sorry, processing is complete. Now it's uploading. If you go in here, you can watch it start to upload. Okay. Just wait for this to finish real quick, and then I will show you how the customer can see all this stuff. Okay, there we go. So it is completed. We're going to close this out, go back to our event, and we can see already that our customer, Bethany, has 58 photos in her album. And her team package has all the 58 photos in there. So you can check on either page, customers or players. So there's a couple ways you can verify if your customer has their photos. You can click on their album right here, this little number, click on 58, and you can see all the 58 photos I just uploaded. Let's say these pictures right here are actually of a different team. You didn't mean to upload those, or they're from a different player. Click on them, select the photos that you're not meaning to upload, and click mark for removal. And we're going to say yes. See how they're grayed out now? That's what we call a soft delete. So you can still say it was an accident. You can still put them right back in there for the customer to see. Just in case of accidents, they always happen. You can put it right back. So it's just a soft delete. If it's grayed out like this, your customer's not going to see it. For us, it's still going to say 58 photos. So you, as the admin, is still going to see that it says 58 photos. But let's go and see what the customer can see now. So the impersonate button. She is faithful. You click on it and you can see exactly what Miss Bethany can see. She has photos from HHS boys basketball, which the gift automatically sent an email to her, or wait, a text, I think, and an email to her saying that her photos are ready to check out, or sorry, look at, AKA upload, okay, AKA download. So she can go in here.
There you go. Yes, they got a text and an email that said their photos are ready.
Yes. So we're going to view Miss Bethany's photos. And as you can see, she only has 56 in here. So instead of the 58 I just uploaded, which I hid 2 of them from her, she can see all 56. She can download them one by one, save. She can download all, which sends a zip file to her email. It wants to right now. I probably just sent myself 5 emails, and then she can also share it with family and friends. So just click share photos, copy this link, and her family and friends can see her album and just download the photos that they want. Okay, so there we go. So yeah, that was impersonating a customer, which is always very helpful, just to double check that those photos aren't there. The photos removed. Impersonating a customer is something that I always do just to make sure they're seeing what I'm seeing. There's no issue, because maybe they logged in with the wrong phone number. Say they registered with 1142, but they've logged in with their friend's phone number, which is 1145. And that's why they're seeing none of the photos. So I guess we can, Matt, do you have anything else or Kyle, that you think I should share? Or do you think we can open it up to some questions?
No, that was great. That was excellent.
Just one thing I wanted to point out. Can you go back to impersonate a customer real quick, Bethany? When you guys go to share photos, make sure you click the share photos link and don't just copy the URL at the top. If you copy that URL at the top and try to send it, they're just going to get an error code. So I just wanted to touch on that point. Make sure you guys are copying that link and sending that one out. And you can let your customers know that's how they share it.
Yes. Okay.
So we've been answering a bunch of questions in the chat as we went along here. And nobody's submitted any specific questions into the Q&A. But if anybody wants to chat in any additional questions or drop them into the Q&A, happy to answer them. A couple of the questions that did come up in the chat and were, event code auto increment. I think it's a good idea. It's something that we can look into. Seeing about adding that so that your next main event number just increments, automatically. Somebody had asked about Apple and Android Pay. That should be enabled by default. So if it's not, I will double check that and see if it's enabled for your Stripe account specifically. So I'll double check that for everybody. And And then somebody had asked about turning on tax. Right now, GFcrew LITE, Stripe itself does support tax, reporting, or at least tax collecting. But GFcrew LITE does not support collecting separate sales tax. It is something that we can look into. It is something that is offered on the pro side. But we can look into potentially turning that on for the LITE side. Had a question here from Mike. Can you go over where to put the photos to upload them and the order? So he exports from Lightroom. So, excuse me. Right now, the photos are loaded into the system alphabetically or numerically. So if your photos are exported from Lightroom or, and have a specific file, structure to them, if they're in whatever alphanumeric order they're in, is right now the way that they will load into the app. I've seen some other requests, I think in the Facebook group, that, about, potentially changing it so that they're ordered by, by time, maybe by shoot time, or capture time. That is something I've got a note down to look into, see how we can adjust that. So thank you for that question. What's the next question here? Haven't been here the whole time. Are we able to delete jobs? Yep. Medic always, you can delete jobs, and Bethany will show you here real quick without deleting. But yeah, if you edit the main event, there is a delete icon in there now. So don't push that accidentally.
If your if your main event has customers in it, you're going to have to transfer them to another event. So this is really only to clean up events that got canceled, you didn't have registrations for, that kind of thing. I do see a good question in the Q&A. I created a test event and did not select a package. How can I go back in and select the package? So to almost edit everything about your main event, other than the name and the date, that kind of thing, you're either going to click the arrow or the actual event code. And this is where you get all the information about who's registered, their orders, how to text them. That's something I did not show during my demo. This is where if you text a customer and they reply, it's going to show up. Anyways, the packages. Go to the packages tab right here and you can edit your packages. If no one's buying the team package and you feel, yeah, I'm not going to do a team package, you can turn it off. So yeah, that's where you're going to edit that stuff. Okay.
As far as, real quick, Bethany, you were in there on the orders tab.
Oh, yeah.
You can refund your customers there as well. So if you go to the order, you can see, if you edit on the transaction history, the gray button there, you can, see, who paid and refund them. And it does require a note as to the reason of the refund. So you can, and just know that the note there is public facing. The customer may end up seeing that. So just, didn't play or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. And you can do partial refunds as well. So that is in there. Saw some other questions here in the chat. Adding the global image for events. Michael, good question. I know that was a feature in the Capture Life side, in the legacy system. Right now, we don't have that capability. It's something on our list of things to get back to. Because obviously, even from a system storage perspective, not having to upload photos repeatedly will save you time and save us, time and money and all that. So it's something that we can look into. Another question here on the differences between LITE and Pro. So definitely check out the website. If you go to gfcrew.com/pro, there's a good list there. But the big difference is Pro, at the end of the day, Pro is what we use at Glossy Finish. So Pro allows us to do multiple events, large scale national events, events with 4,000 players or 100 or 150 teams or more teams, and 10 or 12 or 15 photographers or even 20 photographers. It allows us to assign photographers to fields, and we know which photographer is where and who's photographing what kid. So it's GFcrew Pro is a full event management, whereas LITE is perfect for Friday night lights, a Saturday game, smaller kind of 1-2 man, photographer teams, and that's really what it's geared towards. So. Customizing the message, Matthew's asking. Right now, the messages for the texting and notifications are canned messages, but potentially down the road we could add a customization feature in that. Again, we're Pro allows for full customization of messaging and everything, but not so much right now on LITE. So, I'm talking about ordering photos specifically, where they have to be in order for the. Oh, got it. Where they have to be, and so real quick, Bethany, pull up the gift and just. Sorry, Mike, I misunderstood your question here. So when you go to upload, you can upload from any folder. So you'll browse, to the folder, or you can drag and drop individual files, or drag photos, excuse me, or folders into this section here. So, so hopefully, that answers your question. So yeah, that's where the photos will go, and we'll get uploaded from there. So, yep, partial refunds. Amber says, do we have to manually remove events from a website listing when that date has passed? So, yeah, you can go ahead, Bethany. You can.
Yeah. So for a main event to show on your registration page, it has to be active. And for a customer to register, the registration toggle has to be on. So you also need to have it active for it to be showing up in the gift uploader for you to upload photos to. So it's not automatic because we can't guesstimate when you're going to upload photos. So you can turn it off right after your event, so it's no longer showing up on your registration page. A week later, you're going to upload the photos. Just go back in here, turn it active, and then open the gift. Once you're done uploading the photos, turn it back off. I think that should answer your question. It's not automatic.
And the event does not need to be active for your customer to be able to download their photos. You can have all of your events off, and if a customer logs into their account, their photos will remain accessible, indefinitely. We had another chat come in. There's a line event, So Tom asks, I don't understand why an event would show on the registration page if the registration page is not turned on. So this does kind of go back to the FOMO, the fear of missing out. And traditionally, and even the way I think we had it on the legacy side was you would have an event listed, because what you don't want to happen, at least from my perspective, our perspective, is you don't want a photographer to, if registration is turned off, to land on the registration page and then not have any selection and not know why, you know, it's not listed. You know, did I miss something? Am I on the right page? Am I in the right spot? So that's why if registration is off, showing the closed, and we do want to, you know, go back to the way we had it in the old system, where it would show like, hey, you know, 5 spots remaining, 3 spots remaining. You know, again, to kind of drive that FOMO. You know, we got a decent amount of feedback in the older system saying that, you know, that was helpful and having that FOMO there. But so that's the way it's set up for now. Obviously, you know, we're open to input, and you know, we can kind of go from there.
It's really useful for those photographers who are at the game, and if they put their max limit as 5 kids, and unfortunately 1 or 2 of the kids, you know, they got injured, they didn't show up, or they're not playing a lot, it'll still give the opportunity for, you know, a customer to see that it's closed, maybe come talk to you in person. You could turn it back on so they could sign up and add another customer while you're at the game. That's really the best use case for it, and we've seen that happen plenty of times.
Cliff asks, how does the refund work? So everything is Stripe now, not Square, and refunding will draw from your account. So when you registered with Stripe, you know, signed all that information. You know, again, Stripe is the payment provider that we are integrated with, and you own your Stripe account. You can log in, you can specify, you know, how often payouts come to you. You can do daily, you can do weekly, you can tell it to hold it and do it manually whenever you're ready. But if you do a refund of somebody, and let's say, for example, you haven't had any registrations this month, and then somebody gets back to you and says, hey, you know, my kid never played and you forgot to refund me, and you refund them in the middle of, you know, January, you haven't had anybody in 30 days. Stripe will draw from your bank account to do that refund. Stripe will give you a warning message saying like, hey, you know, you don't have enough funds available in your Stripe account, so it's going to draw. But you can actually change that. You can tell Stripe like, hey, you know, hold $150 in my account, you know, for this purpose, but it doesn't matter either way. They're going to send the money back. So, all right. Can a customer download images from our website? Even if we use GFcrew, or since we use GFcrew LITE, we can only download and sell on GFcrew. Is there another option? Do you believe it's better? Maybe. I don't quite understand your question there. The rambling roost. If you could clarify, that'd be great. So real quick, while we've got about 10 minutes or so left here, just wanted to, you know, for the people that are hanging out, you know, look, we appreciate you, and especially those that have been longtime users with us. You know, I want to thank you for your patience, you know, through the migration. You know, I know that, look, migrations are not easy. And, you know, Capture happened to have been going through their own migration of their own data at the same time. It was bad timing, but it is what it is. So thank you for your patience. You know, and the reason, and, you know, we've posted this in the Facebook group, but if you haven't seen it, the big reason why we've moved away from the legacy system with Capture Life. Capture Life was a great partner. They helped us get GFcrew off the ground. So I'm not here to badmouth them and, you know, or say anything. They're a great group to work with. Unfortunately, you know, we were not a priority to them, and I don't blame them. And you know, the older system was dated. It looked dated. It looked like it hadn't been updated in a while. And you're absolutely right. I'm not gonna lie to you. But making those changes and, you know, making sure that it coincided with updates that Capture Life needed to make we didn't own the code. We didn't own that, the full code end to end. So it was difficult for us to make updates and changes frequently. So by doing this migration, by making it through this hurdle, we now own the end-to-end process, and we can continue to iterate and develop and make better what you guys are using. So I've got notes here. I'm taking notes. I've got ideas. We've got a lot of ideas from the Facebook group. So keep them coming. I'm not going to promise we're going to get to all of them, but we are going to get to the priority ones and make sure that the system is strong and functional and stays reliable. And then we'll start adding, features and functions that make things even easier and better for you guys. And that's why we made that change, because we can do that now. So thank you all, for your patience on that. And as far as the migration status, a couple of people have asked me, we just got the final photo data dump from CaptureLife, and that is being imported as we speak. So I'm expecting, we should see those photos in there by the end of the week here. Worst case, I think we said originally by the end of January. I'm trying to get it done sooner, a lot sooner than that. So this way, all of your photos, every single photo that was in the old system will be migrated and accessible by your customers in the new system. So that is our goal for you guys. Any questions in there that we can catch up on?
Just to clarify, with the back and forth on the photos, once you use the GFcrew system to get them registered and paid, we definitely want you guys to upload and send your photos via the app. That's what you guys are, using it for. The best part about it too is it stores all your customers' photos. So when they go in, if they're a repeat customer and they did 4 events with you, anytime they go to the download photos option, they'll see each game that they've worked with you and basically see that event. So they'll see, events from baseball, from football, from basketball. It won't just be this one single event every time. So definitely upload and send your photos through here. That's what I would highly recommend. It also helps if a customer, if you're doing it on SmugMug after you take payment through us and the customer reaches out to you, now you have to go and find that person's photos on SmugMug rather than just being able to go right into the app and be able to find that customer and see all the photos that they've done with you in the past. So definitely highly recommend doing it through our system because that's what you guys are really using it for. That's really the whole point, not just to collect payment, but to also deliver the photos.
Yeah. Agreed. Cool. Bethany, you got anything else? Is there anything else in the app that we wanted to go over? We talked about texting. We talked about refunds. Oh, one question that I know has come up in the past is getting notifications when a customer messages you. It is something we are actively working on, setting it up so that you can get push notifications to your phone, both iPhone and Android. And then a backup if you don't have that, either text or email. So it's something we are actively working on. Hopefully we'll have a solution for that in the next couple of weeks. So.
And I know a lot of you have done a lot of events and will be continuing to do a lot of events. When you're on the main events page, to help you filter what's active and what's not, we do have a filter on the top. When you log in, it will default to the all main events, but you could switch it to active and inactive. If Bethany, you want to show that real quick just to show them, because I know we had a few questions on, do I have to see every single event that I've ever done? That little filter at the top in the middle, you could actually filter it by active or inactive events to help you guys out.
And if I see, just real quick, there's the import function there, import feature. If, I know some of you guys have, what your schedule is for the spring, right? It's coming up here in the next few weeks, and you'll import 75 separate games. You can click on import main event. You can click on that download button there. It'll download the template that you can follow, and then just import it all in one shot. So yeah, that'll save you a lot of time. I know I've watched you guys sit there and individually enter like 75 events, and it was painful to watch, and hopefully this will help you out. So
one last thing I think that you guys should know is when an event's off, if they've been texting you back and forth and they text you when an event is off, they will get an auto reply. If she clicks like gear right there, this is the message they get. You can customize that image, that message. That's the only message you could really customize unless you're texting them, directly through the texting tab. Right now, it'll send an email to whatever your email is that you provided when you signed up with LITE. But just keep an eye on that, just in case you get a customer that texted you and they send you an email, you'll know where it's coming from.
Tom, to answer your question about if a customer says that they can't find their gallery, direct them to your URL. So don't give them the share photos, just send them straight to yours is, I think, tajimages.gfcrew.com. And then they will be taken to here. Download their photos. If they're signed out, it's going to ask them for their phone number and then a 2-factor authentication code, and then it'll take them right into here.
Yep. So that is just about time. Look, we are open to to your feedback. We are here to help you. Between Haim on the Facebook group and Bethany, and Kyle and myself, and we've got some power users in the Facebook group that chime in, and I want to give a shout out to Tom. We appreciate your help, and I wanted to give you a public thank you for that. As much as I am always on my phone, I've got a 6-year-old daughter, and she is pulling on me this way. So I appreciate that. So we're here to help, and definitely check out the knowledge base. Click on that blue icon at the bottom. That will answer most of your questions. If it's not answered there, send us an email. contact@gfcrew.com is the fastest way. It creates a ticket. We can track it through the system. Any one of us can answer it. And if a knowledge-based article needs to be created because it's a new question that we haven't gotten yet, we will create that article. So hopefully, we'll get you sorted out. So.
And just to add on to what Matt is saying, guys, if you guys do have questions and you post it on Facebook and we don't get to it right away, the best way to get to us is email. If you send us an email, we usually answer those pretty quickly because it comes directly to us. Rather than
I just said that, Kyle.
I'm just reiterating it to make sure.
Everybody heard me.
So we know.
So awesome. Thanks. Real quick, Patrick asked. Sorry, go ahead, Bethany.
Another thing to reiterate, this will be posted tomorrow on Facebook. So go back over it in your free time, send it to your other photographer friend if they're thinking of joining. It will be there tomorrow.
Awesome. And real quick, lastly, Patrick asked about an iPad app for uploading. Right now, there is not a web-based uploader. I know that we had it before, but it's something that we haven't had a lot of demand for yet. I know that you used to use it, but so let's keep talking about that and see what we can do to help you out. So thank you everybody for joining, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Ask questions and we'll help you out. Thanks all.